and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about Sandy Bottom Nature Park. It is one of our biggest city parks, one of our most popular, and we have our program coordinator here, Melissa Henderson. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And you are both a ranger with a badge and a gun and a program coordinator.
Yes.
How do those work together?
Every day is different. Some days we're doing programs, some days we're doing law enforcement, some days we are cleaning up the park, taking care of the cutting the grass and everything, building structures, all kinds of stuff.
You really do it all, huh?
Yes, we do.
What is your background? How did you end up here at Sandy Bottom?
With me, I have a bachelor's in biology. I got that at Salisbury University up in Salisbury, Maryland. From there, actually I worked at the Salisbury Zoo while getting my bachelor's, and then I transferred down here and worked at the Virginia Zoo for a little while. From there, I went to the Virginia Aquarium, and then I switched over and started working with Virginia Beach Parks and Rec as an outdoor program specialist. We did programs like with kayaking, fishing, stuff like that, and we also had animals to work with, the best of both worlds. And then park ranger position opened up at Sandy Bottom, and I was like, I definitely want to try for that, and got lucky, made it through the academy, and I'm here, and I love what I do.
So how long have you been at Sandy Bottom?
3 years.
Okay. I think, sometimes people go to Sandy Bottom and just walk the trails or, maybe have a picnic or don't do the programs. We want to really talk about what programs you guys offer because that can enrich the experience and make it different for people each time they come back.
Yeah, definitely. We have programs based on like nature programs, stuff with, we'll do like lake studies, we'll do tree ID, night snake.
Oh, that's a good one. I remember my Cub Scouts had that. I was a Cub Scout leader, and that is when I called on you a lot because you're supposed to be, doing leaf and tree identification. You're supposed to be doing what animals are native to your area. I mean, you're supposed to be teaching your kids all this stuff, and I had no idea. I'm not an expert in that, so we turn to the experts to help educate.
Definitely. I get people call me all the time, especially with that stuff, and usually we won't do, if you call the week of, it's kind of hard to get you in. We definitely want to advance, but a lot of times if it's something that we don't have a program for, if there's certain topics that you want to learn about, let me know and I'll try to write one up for you.
That's great. But as it is, so some of the things that you can do, and sometimes it's, maybe on a Sunday afternoon we get to tour the wildlife area. People don't realize how many animals you have at Sandy Bottom because it's not a zoo. They're not on display all the time.
Right.
What do you guys have right now? And I know it varies.
Yeah, right now we're actually, the rehab animal population is kind of low, which is kind of good in a way. I mean, we want to keep them in the wild.
Better, right.
Yes, we want to keep them out in the wild. Right now we've got a fox, we have a raccoon, we also have a turkey vulture, 2 great horned owls, and a barred owl. And then flying squirrels, which they're nocturnal, so the only time you really get to see them is if you're out there at night.
I got it. And that's kind of behind in a not public area.
Right.
But you guys, is it just for animals who you find injured at the park, or do you take in?
We'll take in some too. A lot of them come from the wildlife, the rehab center in Virginia. If they can't rehab them and re-release them, then they'll call us up, and if we have space for them, we can take them and take care of them and keep them until their time is done.
And then also at Sandy Bottom, there are animals out there in the wild, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What do people typically see or bump into? And I know sometimes if you're hiking with a bunch of loud kids, you may not see much. They might be there, but you might not see them.
People see a lot of birds. Snakes is the one thing we always get questions about. Am I going to see snakes here? It's like, yes, it is a nature park. 9 times out of 10, they're going to leave you alone. It's like people are like, oh, they came after me. No, they don't chase you down. The only way that they're going to try to protect themselves as you're trying to pick them up and mess with them and stuff. So we definitely don't like people doing that. It's one good way to get bit. But we also, there's deer and stuff out there. There's a lot of raccoons and stuff will move around. We have possum, foxes, all kinds of things.
Geez, we don't think about that in the city very much. It is really, how big is Sandy Bottom?
456 acres.
That's a lot of space. Now, some of that's lake.
Yes, 2 lakes.
But,
2 lakes and a wetland. There's about 52 acres worth of wetlands out there. We also got about 12 miles worth of hiking trails and stuff like that.
It is a great place to visit, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun.
So what else do you all offer? It's our only nature center. I mean, and that isn't necessarily, you don't need a program for that. No. You can come in and see. And what do you all have on display? You had a lot of snakes, if I remember
a lot
correctly.
of reptiles, some amphibians and stuff like that on display. We've got fish too. We've got a big fish tank in the middle that you can take a look at. It also represents, we try to have the fish that are in the Sandy Bottom Lake to show people, this is what you can catch. Right now we have a bass and a few Placo in there, which the Placo are not native to you won't find them in the sandy bottom lake. It's a pet store animal, just kind of helps clean the tank and stuff.
Right,
but
right.
yeah, which, like I said, try to have fish that are from the lake that you can see. Okay, you go out and fish, this is the ones you're going to end up catching.
But snakes are a lot of people are afraid of all snakes or worried about all snakes. And part of what you do is that sort of education.
Yes, we do. Like I said, a lot of people, they're afraid to walk the trail. As soon as they realize there's snakes, they're like, nope, and they'll turn around and leave. Or even to come into the nature center, they're afraid to walk in, which I like to pull them in and talk to them a little bit.
And is that mostly adults?
Mostly adults, yeah.
I know my Cub Scouts thought snakes were the coolest things ever.
Yeah, the kids though, I mean, the kids will start out, they're kind of curious about them and all, but then they look at the adult, and then if the adult's kind of upset and freaking out, then the kids kind of start, I don't know if I should, it's like I like to try to get the kids in beforehand and be like, look, it is an animal and it has a mouth. Anything that has a mouth can and will bite you. I mean, not necessarily, but I mean.
It's capable.
Capable of biting, yes. And just basically show them, I was like, look, they have a purpose and all. I like to get them to where even the people that are scared of them, if I can talk to them long enough and actually have them touch one and see what it feels like and just kind of just look at its behavior and all, and then realize, okay, they're really not that bad.
Well, and you talk about the ones that are not poisonous versus
Venomous.
Venomous,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, we do all that.
What about outdoor, do you take them on nature hikes, or is that pretty much self-guided? You do have those?
We do have those, yeah. We've got actually a night snake hike tomorrow night, 7:30.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm not that afraid, but I'm not sure I want to go looking for them either, Melissa.
It's a good program, and I'll definitely get to see what's out there and stuff. I mean, like I said, we'll start off in the nature center, so you're going to see some in tanks and all, but then when you walk out with us, you actually get to see them in the wild and see how they act in the wild and stuff like that. But we also do owl prowls and stuff. We'll do like history tours of Sandy Bottom. We'll walk you around, kind of go through the history of the park and everything, show you different stuff with it. When we go into more of our recreation programs, we do kayaking, we do fishing.
Now, the kayak, okay, what I remember from Sandy Bottom is the pedal boats.
Yes.
That's hard work. I used to go out at lunch sometimes and do that. That is like a serious workout. And frankly, you don't get that far. At least I don't. Maybe it's just me. But kayaks, you can really, I love because you're down low.
Yep.
You're up close. They're quiet.
Yes.
What do you see on a kayak tour ride?
Oh, anything. Turtles, birds, sometimes snakes off in the distance, swimming across. You can see anything.
What kind of birds?
We've got we do have great horned owls. Not likely going to see those.
Right.
The great blue heron, you've got egrets, all kinds of songbirds and stuff all over.
Because it's a mix.
Yes.
You've got the wetlands that would be tidal, right? No. Okay. So non-tidal wetlands. So it's all freshwater.
It's all
out
freshwater,
there, which is a little different than what you might see
At the bay.
some of our the bay and some of our creeks that are tidal.
We do have freshwater jellyfish, which is kind of cool.
I
They're
did
really,
not know that.
Really little, yeah. And people see them and they kind of freak out a little bit. It's like, they're not going to sting you.
They don't sting?
Nope.
Good
Too
to
small.
know. Good to know.
They're neat though. We little guys.
So people can rent.
Yes.
Whatever, kayaks, what else?
Kayaks, canoes, paddle boats are all in our Crystal Lake. We also have John boats. Those are in our Sandy Bottom and Fishing Lake. Can't fish out of Crystal Lake, but you can fish out of Sandy Bottom.
It kind of helps keep the two purposes separate,
Yes.
keeps the kayakers from having to dodge all of the fishing lines and stuff like that. Gives a little more quiet to people who are trying to fish.
Yeah, with the fishing lake too, you can only fish from the pier or fish from when you rent a boat from us. We don't allow shoreline fishing. It helps actually keep the park clean, but also that lake is the one that they ended up digging the sand and stuff up for to build Interstate 64, so the depths in that lake vary. So if someone's not a good swimmer, and they fall in and it's really deep, there's more of that chance. So if you fish
Now
from the
people
pier.
need a license.
Yes, freshwater license.
Okay.
16 and older, they need one. If they're younger than that, they don't.
What are some of the other fun programs that you guys have?
We started up a new one. It's kayak fishing program where we actually take people out in the bay. It's a saltwater program if you have a saltwater fishing license. Originally we started it, we wanted people to have their own kayak, but we're kind of running into people that want to go fish and they don't have kayaks, which we have enough you can rent from us. The boat's a little bit different, but the instructors of the program, we have kind of the better boats that you can see what you can start or get to, and then the boats that usually what we're going to rent out is going to be what you start with. But like I said, we take people out in the bay and teach them how to catch saltwater fish and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of our new ones that we
And
have.
that's then, obviously, if you're going to the bay, that's an off-site thing. You guys
Yes.
pack up your kayaks and
Yes.
meet people there, which is smart because you've got the trained kayak folks,
Yes.
and it uses the staff in other places in the
Yes.
city. What a fun idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things to do, be on the water. I'm one of the instructors with that too.
So you probably also have first aid training and
Yes.
water safety.
All that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun though. I love it. Every day is different, so.
You have smiled the entire time we've been talking,
Yeah.
Melissa. Is
Can't help
this
it.
like really like what you really want to
Oh,
do?
yeah.
Is this your dream job?
Definitely.
Why?
Well, I get paid to be outside. What better thing to do that? And I get to, educate kids and stuff like that, and get to be on the water.
Get to handle animals?
Yep,
It's
all of
just
it.
everything you want to do.
definitely.
That sounds wonderful. Well, what am I missing? I don't want to close too soon. If you have other things you want to highlight, we do need to tell people you rent shelters.
Yes.
You can have picnics, parties, different things out there. You guys have a wonderful, in fact, rental room.
We do.
Indoor space. I know my staff has had retreats out there. We've used that room for different kinds of things. It's a great place to be. Playground.
Campground,
Yeah.
dog park, all kinds of stuff. I mean, that's pretty much it.
People need to go visit, right?
Yes.
Go see what's
definitely,
out there.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. I hope if you haven't been to Sandy Bottom recently, you can join one of the nature programs, be entertained and educated by one of our rangers like Melissa or one of the other ones, and learn more about the nature that we have sort of pushed out of a lot of our urban part of the city, but still exist in this very large nature park that we have. Thanks for watching.